Good morning. Today we are doing CO25. I can find a new amount after a decrease. This is very similar to CO24. I can find a new amount after an increase, but when we were increasing, we were adding. Now we are decreasing, so we're going to be subtracting. So that's our big difference from what we were doing yesterday to what we were doing today. So if you did good on the last objective, you should be able to figure this one out pretty easily. So we're going to look at some more similar situations you may be similar with, having to do with those percentages. So let's say last week you talked on the phone for 200 minutes and you want to decrease that by 30%. How many minutes will you talk on the phone this week? Or how about the original price of a video game is $80. This week it's on sale for 75% off. How much is the video game after the discount? That's a big one that I use all the time when I'm shopping and I see stuff on sale. Is it a good enough sale that I want to buy this? I need to figure out what the new price is going to be. Or how about as a goalie of your hockey team, you gave up 3.7 goals per game last season. This season, your goal is to decrease that by 24%. So what is your goal for the number of goals you give up per game? Well, as we saw in CO24, there are multiple ways we can answer the questions above. First, we have finding the amount of decrease first. So we have 30% of the 200 minutes. 30% of 200 is 60. Then we need to take that 200 minutes and subtract the 60 and we get 140 minutes. So you take that percent, find that percentage of your original number, and then you subtract that away from the original number. Now, if we're doing finding the new total directly, we take that, remember, we take the original number, and we're multiplying that by 100%. This time we are subtracting it by that percent. So my original number was the 200 minutes. I'm multiplying that by 100% minus our 30%, which is 70%. So 200 times 70%, and that gives us our 140 minutes. And quite honestly, that's the one that I use when I'm out at a store and I see a sale. Ooh, is this a good deal for me? How much do I have to spend? I just plug this into my phone, my calculator, and I can see what the sale price is going to be. I truly use it all the time. Let's look at our video game. Here we have 75% of that original $80. 75% of $80 is $60. So we take our original $80 and we're subtracting out that 60, and we end up with $20 for that game. That is a good sale. So if we look at doing the new total directly, we take our original amount of $80 and we're going to multiply that by 100% minus 75%, which is 25%. So 80 times 25%, and we get the same cost of $20. For the hockey, it's 24% of 3.7 goals. That equals 0.89. So we take that original 3.7 minus 0.89, and we get 2.81 for our average goals that we let in. Doing our new total directly, we have our 3.7 times that 100% minus 4%, which would give us 76%. So 3.7 times 76% equals that 2.81 goals that we let in. So we're doing almost the exact same math we did on our last objective, but instead of adding, we are subtracting because it is a decrease. So your answer should be less than the original. So using one of the methods above, you're going to answer each question. We are not worrying about sales tax. So we're just going straight up with the money that we have. The original price of a CD is $12, but is on sale for 15% off. How much will you pay for this CD? So you're going to do one way. So if we were to do the new total directly, that would be that $12. We'd have our 100% minus 15%, which is 85%. So 12 times 85% is $10.20. And remembering that those percentages, we can change them into those decimals. So 12 times 0.85 gives us that $10.20. Let's look at our next one. You buy 3 bottles of pop for $1.80 each. You have a coupon for 5% off your total purchase. You pay with a $10 bill. What is your change? Now, be careful with questions like this because Mr. Schultz loves to add in stuff like you buy 3 bottles for $1.80 each. Oh, we have an extra step in here. We need to find out what our total purchase is. So $3 at $1.80 each. You need to multiply that $1.80 by 3, and we get $5.40. Now we can find that 5% off. So $5.40, 100% minus that 5% gives us, multiplying it by the 95%, 540 times 95% is $5.13. Oh, we are not done. Our question asks, what is your change if we pay with that $10 bill? So we always have to look at what our final question is to make sure that we are doing all the steps. So we're going to start off with that $10 bill that we pay with. We're going to subtract out that $5.13, and we get $4.87 in change. Make sure you are showing your work. Always, always, always important to show the work. No gold stars for doing mental math. Show your work so if you make a mistake, we can find out where the accident happened and we can learn from it. Now let's look at our work page on our second page. Just like on our last objective, we have our table to fill in, finding those final prices. Remembering we are doing discounts, so our amount is decreasing. Then the next section, we're finding our new amount. Show your work. We are decreasing 75 by 28%. It's the same math. Your original number, 75, taking off 28%. Do the same math that we've been doing. And then we have a word problem that you are going to figure out yourself, paying attention to all the different parts and what steps we have to do. On the very bottom, we have a time for review. We are given a percentage, a decimal, or a fraction, and you need to write the other 2 ways. So you need to have 2 answers for each of these problems, showing either the percentages, the fractions, or the decimals. If you have questions on today's math, you can ask a friend to help you explain it to you, not give you answers, but explain it because we want to learn it. You can ask me tomorrow when I am back. We will go over this in class to make sure we understand it. Make sure you ask those questions so we can learn from our mistakes. We can learn this material so we will know it for the test. I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.